Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be talking about Ob Nixilis the Fallen. I guess this is what happens to you when you lose your spark. Anyway, it's 5 mana 3/3. Black landfall is the way to go. Now, this landfall ability is pretty dumb. I love it. You get a bolt, or well, actually they lose 3. That's a little better than a bolt. Well, no, you can't target creature. Anyway, and he gets bigger. So my idea with Ob Nixilis was to just go all in on commander damage. Let's get there. The 3 is, what is that? Let's see. If you trigger his ability 6 times, that puts him at a 21 power. I don't know that your opponents are going to let you, trigger this 6 times unanswered. But that is living the dream. So let's go with some basic landfall cards first for mono black. There's a lot of, I know when I think landfall, green pops into my mind because of my one true love, Azusa. But Horn of Greed, good, very useful card. It keeps filling your hand up, as well as the Sword of the Animist. Of course, here again, you want to put this on Ob Nixilis, and it's Rainbows and Sunshine. Explorer Scope. Now, preface, we are running a few more lands than normal. I think I'm running 46 lands or something. It's you just kind of need to never miss a land drop. And this lets you cheat another land into play, which is kind of a theme, stuff that you can, play additional lands with. And then you get things you get rewarded for playing lands, your landfall stuff. Seer Sundial may not be the most efficient, but let's face it, I'll take it. Expedition Map's going to go get you a land. Whisper Silk Cloak's going to make Ob unblockable. The Warhammer gives it trample. Lash Wraith just makes him ridiculously big. The Staff's going to draw you some cards. The Mass Protects. Got not a whole lot of, not as much ramp as I want to, but I just have trouble, I don't know. Maybe I get more ramp. I've got the Charcoal Diamond. Charcoal Diamond's important. Remember this for later. Seer's Lantern, Hedron Crawler, Colony Gem. It's kind of the what I call the chaff mana ramp, I guess, because you don't, all your any color stuff you kind of want to save for your multicolor decks. But anyway, Zurin Orb, since we are doing a not missing land drops, sometimes you just need that one more turn. If they attack you for Xaxes, you can buy yourself a turn with the orb. FYI, I don't know. You haven't lived until you have turn 1 Dark Ritual gloomed. I mean, it's just, it is the sick and disgusting feeling that you just can't get past. And I do happen to have a beta gloom, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Quag Sickness is enchant removal. I am playing with 2 of the girls, Tutor Lily and Dark Ritual Swamp Lily. I love the fact that she turns all your swamps into essentially Dark Ritual lands. What are we going to do with all this mana, you ask? I'm glad you asked. We are going to do things like, okay, no instance, it appears. Killing Wave is, you can put it high enough to where it's, it's going to kill everything. If not, it's going to weaken a bunch. But Exsanguinate is probably going to win more games than Ob. Commander damage will, but it's still pretty sweet. Now, things that check for swamps. Mine Sludge, Tendrils, Corrupt, Mutilate. I need to quit dropping. I felt the drop. Gary, and Nightmare. I think that's it that I have that I actually check for number of swamps. Have our good friend Burnished Heart. I'm going to run out of damn Burnished Hearts. I feel like I already am. But the Cabal Ritual I'm running, because I am running the Dark Ritual, and if you can get there early, man, it's although I don't like to just run Ob out early, but there again, I do, because if you run him out there early and everybody's got full hands, they have answers. They have full hands of answers. But you're also missing landfall triggers if he's not out there. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Thought about running like Mass, Hand, Discard, Persecute, Mind Twist, things like that, but I just don't know. Walking Atlas is going to help us dump some more lands into play. Deathringer Regent is a board wipe. And I'm running Will-O-Wisp because as far as blockers go, he's pimping the most. In Garrick's Wake, Diabolic Tutor, Beseech the Queen, Increasing Ambition, all trying to find stuff that we need. Ill-Gotten Gains is going to get back the stuff that you've used. Now, preface, ooh, I'm getting fuzzy, ain't I? Is it me or is it these matte sleeves? Foils and mattes, almost. I bought these matte sleeves, but I love the shiny. I'm part raccoon, you know, so I'm not sure that I like it in decks that have a whole lot of foils. I realize that's the point, is to negate the glare, but let's face it, we like the foils because of the glare. Anyway, Siphon Mind. Whoop, whoop. Can I get it in there? Siphon Mind's going to draw you some cards. Now, I love some buyback with the amount of mana that we're producing. It's even Karst Justice half-ass kind of makes me want to run the Urza's Armor or something to that effect, but I just, maybe in a Pestilence style deck, maybe Thrashing, I don't know. Anyway, Consume the Meek's another board wipe that kills all them their tokens. Sign and Blood, some card draw, and Ashes to Ashes is awesome removal. Exile 2 creatures for 5 life and 3 mana. Sign me up. Got some just basic removal in the form of Murder, Doomblade, Robot Killer, and Sudden Spoiling. Now, these last 3 cards are probably some of my favorite in the deck. We have a lot of mana, so we're not really scared a whole lot. I mean, the Shield of the Ages is beautiful. Just repeatable damage prevention. I love it. And when you play your swamps and you get after 2 activations, after 2 landfall triggers, activations, yes, not really activation, is a trigger. After 2 landfall triggers, this becomes the best card in your hand. Because he'll have, what is that, 369 power. So, and the other thing, too, always ensure landfall. Even if you've got the Ore and you're dropping 2-3 lands a turn, to make sure you can always trigger your landfall whenever on your turn you can play your maximum amount of lands, thanks to Storm Cauldron. Now, the Storm Cauldron is kind of why I want a little more artifact. Maybe Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus would be pretty good because you can get 3 specific black out of it, so that's cool. I'm just sitting here shuffling my lands. But that's and also the Storm Cauldron does just hurt most decks. I mean, your blue decks are totally not going to want to see this coming. Now, I do want to cover a few of the lands. Obviously, we ain't going to talk about, basic lands or that Rogue's Passage that is in here. Terminal Moraine, you get the landfall trigger when you drop it, and then you get the landfall trigger when you use it. So, double trigger, as similar to Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds. Those look strange in a monocolor deck, but it's just because of the landfall trigger. And since we are doing crazy landfall triggers, I went a little deeper and did the 3 panoramas that'll get a swamp, because those are also another free landfall trigger. Everglades, kind of a harsh subject right now, but we have faith they'll make it through. Anyway, Everglades also bounces a swamp. It ramps your mana, bounces swamp. You get, another landfall trigger out of it. But as far as just landfall triggers, man, Ghost Town, you can just return it to your hand just because. That is what I have got for Ob Nixilis. I do appreciate you watching. We're going to continue plugging on here. But right now, it is time for Shuffle and a Cut.